Lance, let's go ahead and get into our big game breakdowns, sponsored by Branded Bills. Click on the link in the episode description or this QR code that is in the top right screen of YouTube. And when you get to checkout, type in Branded15 for 15% off your first order. We're both sporting our Branded Bills hats. I think my logo is over here. Sporting the dad life. Lance got United States of America on, but obviously they've got colleges on there. They've got all kinds of schools on there. Go and get yourself some gear. And again, use that code Branded15 for 15% off of your order. But make sure you click on our link in the episode description or in that QR code in the top right of the screen.
There you go.
Last but not least, in our big game breakdowns, 3:30 on ESPN2, a revival of one of the oldest college football rivalries. I know it's technically called the Border Showdown.
No,
we're not into changing names around here. This is the
we're
Border
not snowflakes
War.
here.
And this is the border war between Kansas and Missouri, taking place at Memorial Stadium in Como, there in Columbia. Missouri leads Kansas in the border war. Get this. The record is 56, 55, and 6.
Whoa.
That's about as close as you can get for a rivalry that has been played 117 times. It dates back to it dates back to 1891. But the most recent game, obviously, 2011, because Missouri went to the SEC and they ditched Kansas and left them behind. Under Lance Leipold, Kansas only played one SEC opponent, and that was in the 2022 Liberty Bowl when they fell to Arkansas, 55-53 in that wild overtime game.
I do remember that game. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we're calling it the Border War. And I mean, I don't know if everybody knows out there. Like, give us the background on the actual border war between Kansas and Missouri.
I mean, dude, I live about a little over an hour from Como. I live in between St. Louis and Como, right out about 30 minutes outside of St. Louis in beautiful O'Fallon, Missouri. And when I moved here, like, I had a lot of respect for the Mizzou-Kansas rivalry because, again, growing up as a kid, like, I used to watch that game quite a bit. And I remember during the Chase Daniels years at Mizzou, and what was that quarterback's name? I remember Mangino, whatever, the big heavy-set coach for Kansas.
Todd.
Yeah,
Todd, right?
Yeah, you're right. His name is first. I know. Hey, Kansas fans, listen to this. Comment on YouTube what that guy's last name was, or while I'm talking about this, you may be able to find it on Google. But they had some absolute wars against each other during that time, and also too the basketball rivalry between those two games. They just hate each other, man. And I'll never forget the very first time that I went to a Mizzou sporting event in Como was an Alabama-Missouri basketball game, and they played Mr. Brightside.
Todd Reesing.
Todd Reesing. There you go. I think he wore number 5 too. I remember like it was yesterday. He had the old T-shirt sleeves, slinging tutties all over the field.
Weren't they like the last time one of the last times they played in 2007? That
1 versus 2.
Number 2. Well, I think it was number 2 versus 3.
Yeah, 2 versus 3.
1 versus 2. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it was absolutely. But I went to that Alabama-Missouri basketball game. They played Mr. Brightside, and I ain't gonna lie, I was standing up doing it with them just because it was fun. And the entire student section is chanting FKU, FKU. Yeah. I'm not going to say it. Sorry, there might be some kids listening.
I don't want to put explicit on the thing.
There you go. And so a lot, my nieces sometimes like to listen to this. They've already started. Dude, my nieces now are saying the word something is booty because of me.
Jeez.
So there it is. But I'm influencing the younger generation. But yeah, this is a very, very bitter, just hatred between these two programs, between these two fan bases. This is what college sports is built on right here, man, is a game like this. Just like there's going to be some pads popping, maybe a couple fights. There are going to be people before the game trash talking, and then it's going to be a fantastic football game because I think you're going to have two very exciting dual threat type quarterbacks. Beau Pribula is now the full starter for Mizzou. I watched quite a bit of that first game that he played in, and dude, he looked very exciting. Jalon Daniels, when healthy, we know how exciting he is and how electric he can be as a dual threat quarterback for the Jayhawks. Kirby Moore, that offense for Mizzou, they've got a solid group of wide receivers that they had to replace because, the last 2 years were some of the best groups of wide receivers that Mizzou's had in a long time. But Marquise Johnson, Kevin Coleman, Joshua Manning, tight end Brett Norfleet, all 4 of those guys are very solid. They did a really good job of replacing the guys that went on to the NFL and replacing that group that they had last year. Mizzou quietly has one of the better defensive fronts in the SEC. Corey Batoon, the defensive coordinator that took over there last year for them, that came from South Alabama, like that attacking style downhill, just get after you type defense that Mizzou has had, that ran under Blake Baker. It's not the same scheme, but it's a very much so attacking style, just physical. When you watch them play, that it's played so hard type defense. You know, Lance Leipold's bunch is going to be getting after you too. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be fundamentally sound. They've got a really good running back tandem again. Neal went on to the NFL, and Daniel Hishaw, or however you want to say it, was his backup the last couple of years, and he's now the starter. LaShawn Williams transferred over from Iowa. I don't know if you remember, but I texted you during that Fresno game, and I said, Kansas has done it again. They've got another just dual-headed monster at tailback that is really freaking good, along with dual threat Jalon Daniels. And they brought in Emmanuel Henderson, transfer wide receiver from Alabama, who the first 2 weeks looks the part. Cam Pickett is a really good wide receiver, explosive for them as well. Jim Zabrowski, the offensive coordinator for Kansas, was one of those that after that week 0 that I walked away early saying, this is a guy now that me and coordinators, I'm going to have him on my radar now.
Yeah.
After what I watched with their scheme and just how just really, really good looking play formations and things that they did to confuse the defense, that just almost every single time that they ran something kind of exotic, it turned into an explosive play. And it was a fantastic play design. I'll imagine they're going to be running a lot of that in this game, because I think the biggest difference between these two teams, and maybe I'm wrong because it's early in the season, but I think Mizzou's defensive front is going to be very problematic for Kansas's offensive line. And I think Jalon Daniels is going to have to run and run often. And again, he's very fast. He's very quick. He is a dual threat. But I think that Mizzou is going to be able to get after him. And
Line 6.5 right now.
That's honestly, I thought was a little rich, to be honest with you. I think when we did our guess to spread, I think I guessed 4.5.
It might come down to the leg of that Missouri kicker again.
Dude, they're so good, dude. I think I put on Twitter the other day, death taxes in Mizzou having kickers that just kick absolute bombs.
And it's not Mevis anymore.
Yeah, it's like Craig the Leg, whatever his last name, but Craig the Leg, and then it was the thicker kicker before him. And even before that, dude, Mizzou's always got kickers that just kick bombs. And you're right. What a weapon that is. Just cross the 50-yard line and you're in scoring range. That's all you've got to do. I'm excited to see what Ahmad Hardy looks like against B4 competition in this game. Kansas does have a few defensive linemen that I was impressed with watching that Fresno game a couple of weeks ago, that was putting some pressure in the backfield. It was getting in the backfield, getting some tackles for a loss, getting some pressure on the QB for Fresno in that game. Mizzou offensive line-wise, that was a little bit of a question mark coming into the season. Again, not a weakness. It's not a weakness yet until we have some games that we see, but it was a question mark coming into the year. If they just give Pribula some time, I was very impressed with him week 1. I know it was trash competition, but I was impressed with the way he looked, man. And I like the receivers that they got and that they brought in. And I'm just excited to see what Ahmad Hardy looks like in this stretch zone run game for Mizzou against a P4 competition defense. I like Missouri in this game to win. I'm not sure I like them to cover. Again, I think it's another just classic rivalry type game where it's going to be a one possession game. Again, a touchdown means you cover. But I'll take Missouri to win, but I'm not taking them to cover right now.
So we're going to talk about another Big 12 team here in our upset specials. But you got Iowa State, you got Baylor, and you got Kansas. Those 3 games, what do you think out of those 3 games the Big 12's record is after this Saturday?
Those 3 and the other one?
No, just those 3. I don't want to spoil. the other one yet. I mean, do you think they can go 2-1? I think they go 2-1, right?
I think they can. I've got them right now, and what I just predicted.
So if they go 2-1 in those games, is that a success for the Big 12 this week?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're dog.
What if they go 1-2?
The point spread has it that way, and then 2 of them are on the road. They just got to avoid 0-3. They got to avoid 0-3 in these games. But again, they go 3-0 in these 3 games. You want to talk about some serious respect. Put some respect on the Big 12. I've been kind of known for being a little bit of Big 12 Barton here. But put some respect on look, we respect the Big 12. It's a good football conference. It is. It doesn't get enough respect, in my opinion. But this, you're right, dude. This is a big week for them. These 3 games and then one other one is huge for them going forward and could pay a lot of dividends later on in the year when you start looking at college football playoff stuff and who, if the ACC or the Big 12 are going to get more than one team in. Games like these are the ones that could carry a lot of weight going forward. Because you and I have already talked about, we agree. Jalen Daniels in Kansas, we had them as our dark horse to make a run at the Big 12. Like, we both picked them as our dark horse to make a run at the Big 12. If they go on the road and beat Mizzou at Mizzou, yeah, dude. Like, that'd be big time for this bunch. And they absolutely can. Again, I just think the Mizzou defensive line is going to be too problematic, and they get it done in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Daniels keeps him in the game. I think Leipold's a heck of a coach.
Yep.
But I think just being at home, I think Mizzou finds a way to get it done. And then they'll get the return game next year down in Lawrence. Okay, be careful this weekend. These weekends tend to sneak up on you. I know it's only week 2, so we don't really know a lot about the teams. And we'll have more of these weekends throughout the year where it's kind of just like they lull you to sleep a little bit and then bam, upset. So if we get struck early in the 2025 season, we know it's going to be a crazy year. So we'll see, man. I'm excited for it. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Share with your friends. Keep sharing, keep following, keep liking, keep commenting. We love the comments. We love the banter. So for Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.